In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and golden fields, there lived an elderly woman named Eleanor. To the people of Briarwood, she was simply Grandma Eleanor, a title worn with love and wisdom. Though her back was slightly bent with age and her hands bore the marks of time, her spirit remained unbroken, her eyes still twinkling with the fire of youth. Eleanor was known for two things: the sprawling garden that surrounded her cottage and the patience with which she nurtured everything in her life. Every morning, as the first rays of sunlight kissed the horizon, she would step into her garden, humming softly as she tended to her plants. Roses climbed the white picket fence, daisies swayed in the breeze, and an ancient oak tree stood tall at the heart of it all. But Eleanor's garden had not always been this way. Many years ago, when she had first come to Briarwood as a young bride, the land around her home had been barren, the soil dry and lifeless. Some had told her to give up, to seek fertile ground elsewhere. But Eleanor believed in the power of time, love, and patience. She had started small, planting a single seed, a rosebush her mother had gifted her before she left home. It took months before the first fragile sprout appeared. Seasons passed, bringing storms and harsh winters, but Eleanor never lost hope. With each year, she planted more, watered more, and loved more. Slowly, the barren land transformed into the most beautiful garden the village had ever seen. Her garden was more than just flowers, it was a testament to resilience, a living proof that good things took time. As the years went by, Eleanor's garden became a sanctuary, not just for plants but for people too. Children played under the shade of her oak tree, young couples sought her advice as they sat on the garden bench, and the lonely found solace in her stories. She always welcomed them with warm tea and homemade bread, offering wisdom gathered from decades of life. One summer, a young girl named Lily began visiting Eleanor's garden. She was a quiet child, often found sitting by the marigolds, lost in thought. Eleanor noticed the sadness in her eyes but did not press her for answers. Instead, she handed Lily a small clay pot and a packet of sunflower seeds.
Gardening teaches us patience,
Eleanor said with a smile.
It takes time, but the wait is always worth it.
Lily hesitated before accepting the seeds. Every afternoon, she would return, digging the soil, watering the tiny sprouts, and waiting, just as Eleanor had taught her. Weeks passed, then months. The sunflowers grew taller, their golden faces turning toward the sky. And as they blossomed, so did Lily. One evening, as they sat together watching the sunset, she finally spoke.
My mother left us,
she whispered.
She promised she'd come back, but she never did.
Eleanor placed a gentle hand over Lily's.
Some things in life take longer than we expect. But that doesn't mean we stop believing in the beauty that can come after the waiting.
Lily nodded, staring at the sunflowers swaying in the breeze. They had taken time to bloom, but they had grown strong, just as she would. The seasons continued to pass, bringing new faces into Eleanor's life. Young men who had once played in her garden returned as fathers, guiding their own children through the winding flower paths. Women who had sought her wisdom came back with stories of their own to share. One autumn evening, as golden leaves danced in the wind, Eleanor sat in her garden, reflecting on the years that had passed. She had outlived many of her friends, watched the village grow, and seen generations come and go. Yet, through it all, one truth remained: good things took time. Just as she had once nursed her garden from barren soil, she had nurtured the lives around her with love and patience. And in return, she had built something eternal, something that would remain long after she was gone. One morning, Eleanor did not come out to her garden. Word spread quickly through the village, and people gathered at her doorstep. They found her peacefully resting in her chair, a soft smile on her lips. In her lap lay a small book filled with handwritten notes, a collection of her wisdom, stories, and lessons she had wished to pass on. The village mourned her, but they also celebrated her life. In her honor, they continued to care for her garden, planting new seeds each year, watching them grow with the same patience Eleanor had taught them. And so, Eleanor's legacy lived on, not just in the flowers that bloomed in her beloved garden, but in the hearts of those she had touched. For she had shown them all that the best things in life, love, healing, and even the most beautiful of gardens, take time.